Good evening, everyone. I'm Jerry Ricciuti from channels WKBN and WYTV in Youngstown. And for the last 7 years, it's been my distinct pleasure to serve as the voice of the Canfield Band. Tonight, on behalf of both the concert and symphonic bands, I'd like to welcome you to our annual holiday concert, although 1 week delayed. As an audience member, you're crucial to our performance this evening. To that end, we'd respectfully ask you to demonstrate proper concert etiquette this evening by kindly following a few simple requests. First and foremost, please turn off all the electronic devices that you have that might ring, beep, light up, buzz, or make any other noise. Also, please try to enter and exit the auditorium only between the concert and symphonic band performances, and do so quietly. Lastly, please refrain from talking during the concert. Again, we're so glad and appreciative that you're here with us this evening to share in this wonderful evening of music. And on behalf of the bands and Mr. Kelly, I'd like to thank you in advance for demonstrating good audience manners tonight. Now, our concert this evening marks the first performance of our concert band and the second for the symphonic band since the marching band season ended last month. This year's concert band is made up of 87 students. 38 of them are freshmen, and they're playing in their very first high school concert this evening. We begin with a selection that includes melodies from more than a dozen holiday carol favorites and will help us capture the mood of the evening. Now, would you please welcome the Canfield High School Concert Band and their conductor, Mr. Michael Kelly, as we kick off our program with James Cornell's The Carolers. Next, a medley of winter favorites arranged by James Swearingen. You can listen for Frosty the Snowman, Let It Snow, and Winter Wonderland. And here to conduct this selection this evening, please let me introduce this year's student teacher, who just graduated, by the way, last weekend from the University of Akron, Miss Jessica Haley. She'll be conducting Winter Holiday.
Good evening. Again, welcome to our annual holiday concert. I'm so happy we were able to reschedule this year, unlike last year. So thank you very much. It's, as you know, because your children are in so many activities around here, it's very hard to come up with an original date, let alone a rescheduled date. So when we looked at a couple dates and I thought, oh, you know, we just have a couple conflicts. I said, we really need to redo this, even though it's right before break. The kids have been at this a long time. Otherwise, our sophomores would have never done a holiday concert here at Canfield, and our seniors would have not done a holiday concert their last 2 years. So I'm really glad that we were able to reschedule. Before we bring up our booster president, just to say a quick few words, I wanted to publicly acknowledge and thank Ms. Haley once again. She actually graduated last Saturday. She's been with us. Yes, congratulations. She's been with us since the end of July. She has not missed one event. She has not missed one school day. And she was with us through all 13 football games, through all the band nights, fair show, parades. Well, she wasn't with the parade. I always get that wrong. And then she was gracious enough to come back today and work with the kids and conduct. So she's been a real blessing to us. The kids in the program gave her a nice going away gift last week because we were afraid we weren't going to be rescheduled. But I just wanted to publicly thank her for all her hard work here at Canfield and wish her the best of luck in her endeavors. Okay, and I'd like to welcome up to the stage Mr. Harlan, who is the Canfield Band Parents Booster President. Mr. Harlan, would you like to come up and say a couple words, please?
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. The Canfield Band Parents is a nonprofit booster organization focused on supporting the band programs of the Canfield schools. All parents are de facto members of the Canfield Band Parents if you have a child in the band grades 5 through 12. And we need volunteers. We need your time and your talents. It's very easy to get involved. Some people have a little time to give. Some people can give more time. All the time is appreciated. There are several events through the years, or through the annual events through the year, like the show of bands, pasta dinner, concerts like this evening, fundraisers, for which we welcome all volunteers of their time and talents. An important fundraiser, and Mr. Kelly's included some materials in the program, is the the Friends of the Canfield Bands campaign. It is a fundraiser where basically we ask businesses and individuals to donate so that we can continue to support this great band program. And it shows that we value not only your time, but also your money. The Canfield Band Parents provides a great deal of the financial support that helps make the music program in Canfield the top-rated program that it is. Mr. Kelly and I were talking, if all the band families gave just $50, we could probably get the rest of the keys for the xylophone and put the insurance back on the band truck. So anyway, we do appreciate any time that anyone can give. It's easy to give of yourselves. Check out the website, the Canfield Band Parents website, and please continue to enjoy the holiday concert that almost wasn't. Thank you.
To take you back to 1897, New York City. A young girl writes to the editor of the New York Sun asking if Santa Claus really exists. His reply to that girl's question has captivated audiences every year at Christmas time ever since then. Now, as the band brings those famous words to life, I want to invite Haley Tura, who's up in the booth, who will be this year's senior drum major, and joining us, and my little borrowed prop here, for Yes, Virginia, There Is a Santa Claus. Virginia, your little friends are wrong. They've been affected by the skepticism of a skeptical age. They do not believe except they see. They think that nothing can be which is not comprehensible by their little minds. All minds, Virginia, whether they be men's or children's, are little. In this great universe of ours, man is a mere insect, an ant in his intellect as compared with the boundless world about him, as measured by the intelligence capable of grasping the whole world of truth and knowledge. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. He exists as certainly as love and generosity and devotion exist, and you know that they abound and give your life its highest beauty and joy. Alas, how dreary would be the world if there were no Santa Claus. It would be as dreary as if there were no Virginias. There would be no childlike faith then, no poetry, no romance to make tolerable this existence. We should have no enjoyment except in sense and sight. The eternal light with which childhood fills the world would be extinguished. Not believe in Santa Claus? You might as well not believe in fairies. You might get your papa to hire men to watch in all the chimneys on Christmas Eve to catch Santa Claus, but even if you did not see Santa coming down the chimney, what would that prove? Nobody sees Santa Claus, but that's no sign that there is no Santa Claus. The most real things in the world are those that neither children nor men can see. Did you ever see fairies dancing on the lawn? Of course not, but that's no proof that they are not there. Nobody can conceive or imagine all the wonders there are unseen and unseeable in the world. You tear apart the baby's rattle and see what makes the noise inside, but there is a veil covering the unseen world which not the strongest man, nor even the united strength of all the strongest men that ever lived, could tear apart. Only faith, poetry, love, romance can push aside that curtain and view and picture the supernal beauty and glory beyond. Is it all real? Ah, Virginia, in all this world, there is nothing else real and abiding. No Santa Claus, thank God, he lives and lives forever. 1,000 years from now, Virginia, nay, 10,000 times years from now, he will continue to make glad the heart of childhood.
That's a fun little arrangement, huh? And it gets to feature the voice. I think Jerry's daughter is 2 or 3 years removed. She actually was down in Virginia for the Alonzo Stagg Bowl for Mount Union. She marches in the marching band at Mount Union. And so they were down there, of course, and they won their, I think, their 13th national championship in Division III. So we're just glad he continues to be a part of the team and the family. So we're going to play one more selection. Hopefully it's going to leave you tapping your toes on your way out. It's really fun. It should sound, I'm just going to warn you, it should sound a little hectic. Okay, the composer writes that, you know, he's a procrastinator. He's a terrible procrastinator. So he wondered what, if Santa Claus was a procrastinator, what would that sound like this time of the year? So he puts it into this form, scherzo, which means funny and fast in musical terms. So, but before we do that, I just want to give a shout out to the young men and women that are on the stage. This is all, I told them this is always a litmus test for us because this band rebuilds every year. Okay, we graduate kids, and then we always bring this large freshman class in. It's almost half of the band, and you never know what you're going to get. Marching band, they're in with the upperclassmen, and they have the upperclassmen modeling for them, and the kids in the symphonic band are in there, and they're being good role models, not only as leaders, but as players. And then we split them up, and then for about a month we still do some marching band music, and then we start to work on holiday music. And the symphonic band every year, it's easy to pick the music because I kind of know where they're at every year. This group, it's like, what do we play? We really haven't played as a group. And I told them today I'm very, very proud of them. I think we are in a good spot to end 2017, and then when we come back in 2018, get ready for our contest music and pasta dinner. So would you help me congratulate the concert band for their first performance this year? We'll just, after we play this, we'll just have a quick set change. We'll bring the symphonic band up. We're just going to do a quick warm-up, and then we'll start with them. So, Jerry, when you're ready, we can continue.
Our final selection for the concert band has us wondering what might happen if Old St. Nick was a big procrastinator. This piece takes us through a number of holiday tunes to portray Santa as frantically trying to get everything ready for his round-the-world trip on Christmas Eve. Here's Scherzo for Santa. As we begin the second half of our program, this first selection was composed by Bruce Broughton for the 1994 remake of this classic Christmas film, and it may remind you of Joy to the World. Once again, please welcome Mr. Kelly and the Canfield Symphonic Band as they open their portion of tonight's concert with the overture to Miracle on 34th Street. Next, a piece combining glistening chords, soaring melodies, including hints of Bach's Jesu, joy of men's desiring, and begins and ends with broad fanfares. Here's Samuel Hazo's From Gold. Now we'd like to feature 4 members of our saxophone section and one of Canfield's assistant band directors. Please allow me to introduce Garrett Kuchmaner and Jared Albright on alto sax, Jackson Horvat and Mr. James Volnick on tenor sax, and Vincent Heppola on the baritone, with a selection called simply and quite appropriately, 5 to Go.
So, little correction. That's not Jared Albright. So we did have one casualty tonight for the reschedule. He's actually at the Glenn Miller concert, and I certainly couldn't fault him for that. But we still wanted to do this piece. So Mr. Rollo there, that with the nice shiny sax that Garrett's making look so good, standing next to, is actually a retired band director from Warren G. Harding. He's good friends with Mr. Volnick and I, and he's been with us, actually, this is his second time playing with Canfield. He played with us on our Veterans Day Assembly, so we're just so thankful for him being willing to come out. And his brother, Bob Rollo, is actually one of our new parapros this year, working for trumpets, so working with our brass, actually. So we have Vincent Heppola, Jr., Mr. Volnick, AARP, Garrett Kuchmaner, Senior, Mr. Rollo, who I had for improv class in Warren. He used to do it at night over at Reserve, so that was kind of cool. And then Senior Jackson Horvat. So thank you again, Mr. Rollo and Mr. Volnick, for doing this with us.
This next selection combines elements from a number of Christmas classics, beginning with the Ukrainian Bell Carol, and then moving into March of the Toys, Jolly Old St. Nicholas, and Jingle Bells. Here is Suite 1 of A Touch of Christmas.
So the fall has been quite an interesting fall indeed. Not only did we have our 10 regular football games, but our football team decided to be really good this year and make us go an extra 3 weeks, which we're very, very fine with, because it's always good to be part of a winning tradition and a winning program. That kind of put some stress on, especially this band in particular, because we had to perform up at the University of Akron on the first Saturday in December. And had the team gone all the way, that was going to be the championship game. So we were kind of, it was a good dilemma to have. Fortunately, they played the game in the evening, so we would actually been okay. But like I said, that put a tremendous stress on the kids, especially since we had the composer of this next piece visit us, work with the kids, and then conducted the kids at the conference up in Akron. The Ohio Band Directors Conference is exactly what it sounds like. It's a weekend where band directors from all over the state of Ohio converge on the University of Akron, and they do some master classes, and they bring a guest composer in, and they bring a guest conductor in for their honors band. So we love playing in front of our parents and our family, but it's extremely gratifying and nerve-wracking at the same time to play in front of your peers. So I'm happy to report that the band got all kinds of accolades, and still to this day, when we see our colleagues, Mr. Volnick, Mr. Fay, and I, Mr. Drevna, walking around, they've always mention how well they enjoyed the band. So we weren't going to do this piece originally, and I thought, it'd be a shame not to do this piece when we put so much work into it. The piece you just heard, they learned in 9 rehearsals, as well as Sleigh Ride. So we had to make sure we did some holiday music for you, and it was important to do that. But before we get to that, I want to, and the band just needs a little bit of a break, I want to recognize a whole bunch of students. And Jeff, some of these are concert band kids, so if we could have maybe a little bit of house light. Not only do many of our students perform in the band here, they take lessons, they play at church, they also play in a variety of honors ensembles. And we have a whole page full of those students. So if you just hold your applause at the end, I'm going to have these students stand up, and then they can sit down between each one, and you're going to see some repeat offenders through this. So, and I mean that in the best way. So, first of all, we have the Henry H. Stanbaugh Youth Concert Band. This group meets on Tuesday evenings under the direction of Dr. Brant Payne from YSU and Mr. Tyler Huzowski from Champion. And the students in that, please rise, and then we'll acknowledge you at the end. Samantha Hudock, freshman oboe. Beverly Sipp, senior bassoon. Garrett Kuchmaner, senior alto sax. Jared Albright, senior alto sax. Vince Hepala, junior baritone sax. Christian Pruitt, junior trombone. Hayden Nottingham, freshman trombone. And Brianna Remus, junior percussion. How about a round of applause for the Stanbaugh kids? Okay, you guys want to go ahead and have a seat? Next, we have the Youngstown Symphony Youth Orchestra. They rehearse on Monday evenings, 1 day a week. Then they give a concert. This is an important ensemble for our area because we do not have string programs in our schools. And some of you, you're going to hear some kids being announced that play actually a violin. This is really their only ensemble for them to play in unless you go to Boardman. So again, hold your applause till the end. Rachel Beald, junior clarinet. Josh Comport, sophomore trumpet. Ian Ward, senior trumpet. Christian Pruitt, junior trombone. Drew Scalzo, senior percussion. And then Emily Smith, who's in the concert band, she's freshman violin. Daria Sansatera, senior violin. And then Nicholas Sansatera, who's also in the concert band, sophomore violin. So how about a nice round of applause for our YSYO kids. Next, we have the OMEA, which is the Ohio Music Education Association District 5 Honors Band. These are students all over Trumbull, Mahoning, and Ashtabula counties. They're nominated by directors, and they go through a tryout period. And we had one representative from our ensemble this year. I believe this is his 3rd time, maybe? Is that correct, Drew? So he's been in it since he was a sophomore, and that's senior percussionist Drew Scalzo. This is all before November so far. Okay, so then we have, in November, we had up at Cleveland State University, the Northeast Ohio Regional Orchestra. Again, all over Northeast Ohio, students or directors nominate students, and they have to go through an audition process, and then they're selected. What's unique about the student that got selected from our school is there is only one tuba in orchestra. So all over Northeast Ohio, sophomore tuba Jake Fay got selected. So we're very proud of Jake. This one's really cool. Week before Thanksgiving, we had a sophomore go to New York City, rehearse with about 250 other students from all across the country. And they learned a routine and how to march multiple miles down, I don't even know what street that is. What's the parade on in Broadway? I did know that, I was just testing you. But sophomore trumpet, you might have seen his picture in the paper with his All-American marching band, but sophomore trumpet, Josh Comport got to do that this year. And then the Ohio Band Directors Conference has an honor band that meets. We had 2 students, again, a recurring theme here, directors nominate, students audition. And we had 2 representatives this year, senior alto saxophone Garrett Kuchmaner and senior percussionist Drew Scalzo. The next 2 ensembles have not yet happened, but they're going to happen, one in January and one at the beginning of February. The first is the Ohio State Honor Band. This is a major undertaking. There are 4 honor bands, hundreds and hundreds of kids converge on Columbus and learn essentially a half-an-hour program in about a day and a half. So we're fortunate we have 5 students from Canfield who are selected. They are Rachel Beal, junior clarinet, Jake Fay, sophomore tuba, Garrett Kuchmaner, alto sax, senior alto sax, Drew Scalzo, senior percussion, and Ian Ward, junior trumpet. As much as I want Ian to stay, he's a senior. Sorry, Ian. And then lastly, this is the kind of the granddaddy of all honors bands for us in Ohio. This is the OMEA All-State Band. Literally about 1,000 applications, and I think the band this year is about 95. So about 10% of them are accepted. And we have 2 students from Canfield this year. First is sophomore tuba Jake Fay, and senior alto saxophone Garrett Kuchmaner. So all you parents out there that cart them around to all these extra things, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate it. All right, one more announcement, and then I will be quiet. I love doing this at the holidays because school's out for many of the universities. People are in with families. I always enjoy bringing up our alumni. So if you are a Canfield Band alumni, from Mr. Rossi to Mr. Kelly, would you please come up on the stage so we can see your shiny welcome home faces. Canfield Band alumni, from Mr. Rossi to Mr. Kelly. And then make sure Mrs. Mizak comes up. She never wants to come up. Canfield, look, isn't this awesome? That's cool. Look at all them. There you go, Mrs. Mizak. I know you didn't want to come up. I learned something interesting leaving the 7th and 8th grade concert. Mrs. Mizak wave. Her and I were actually in the same honors band at District 5. We graduated in the same year. So time has been a lot kinder to her than me. So, right, Mrs. Mizak? You're really red. You're as red as your shirt now, aren't you? How about a round of applause for our alumni, Canfield Band alumni? Okay, thank you. Merry Christmas, welcome home, and we'll continue with the show. forgot I'm supposed to introduce this piece. Okay, so the piece, American Barn Dance, from Mr. Saucedo's work, from his words, he wrote it to honor all the American composers out there, especially those like Aaron Copland, who really, when they came on the scene, the classical tradition in this country was still European, so the works of Germany and Italy and France and England. And then we had people like Aaron Copland come along and create this new sound that we call the American sound. It's a very open, expansive sound. If you listen to John Williams and you love John Williams' music, he's very much an American-style composer. So this tune is supposed to capture that. It takes you through 3 episodes. Everybody meeting at the barn, then a little lovely interlude, and then a hoedown at the end. So I hope you enjoy Richard Saucedo's American Barn Dance.
Again, on behalf of Mr. Kelly and the Canfield Bands, I'd like to thank you once again for spending part of your holiday season with us this evening. Just a reminder, please consider giving a donation on your way out the door this evening for the band's sheet music fund. We also want to invite you to join us in the cafeteria after the symphonic band's final selection for some carols, cookies, and cocoa featuring the CHS Sax Quartet. Finally tonight, no holiday concert would be complete without this classic by Leroy Anderson, who originally composed it for the Boston Pops Orchestra. Here is the incomparable Sleigh Ride.